be the creepiest walkway I've ever been on. It's a good alarm system if you have a boardwalk coming to your house. Oh my god. Look at this, guys. Oh, never mind. I thought that was real. It's not. Wow. Okay. So I went and checked in with the front desk, and I've got a couple of maps, and there's some auto tours that I'm going to do. There's 2 of them. Combined, it's about 8 miles. Oh, some quails, that's cool. 8 miles of auto driving around. One of them has some elk that just calved, so I might be able to see some more baby elk. And then the other one is the waterfowl trail, and that one, she said they just drained the wetlands, so I probably won't see much, but I might see some ducks and some coots and things like that. So I'm gonna do those, and then they have some spur trails for hiking off of those. So that's what I'm gonna do. And of course, I'm gonna be taking you guys along with me. See, look at my skin. It's so tan. What's happening? I don't recognize myself. Okay, back in the car. See you guys in a minute. So I thought I'd be smart today, and instead of switching my lenses every time I saw something cool, I'm gonna do both my cameras. So I've got my T1 with my long lens on it, and then I've got my 80D on here with my kit lens and circular polarizing filter and neutral density filter. So yeah, let's get out there and see some wildlife. So I'm driving through the wildlife refuge. I'm on the it's either Tool or Tule Elk Trail, and I did see the herd of elk beyond the fence and got some pictures and some video. I saw their antlers sticking up over the grass, and I saw the little babies. I haven't seen much else other than some birds. So in the visitor center they have displays of, you know, taxidermied animals, and one of them was a beaver, and I really want to discover a new species of beaver so I can name it Justin's Beaver. I know I cracked myself up. Hopefully I make you guys laugh though, with my crazy weird personality. Oh man, vast and open out here. But there's a lot of birds, a lot of cattails down by the water, a lot of mosquitoes. I hope I'm not getting eaten alive. And I want to see a coyote. Apparently there's coyote out here. So, I'll keep you guys informed if I see anything.
So who do I see coming in front of my neighbor? If she come for me, if she
There's something in the bushes over there. And I'm trying to determine if it's a bird, a rabbit, possibly a squirrel. There's one over here too. What do you guys think? Doesn't want to come out, so I want to get back in the car because I've been out in the sun for about 20 minutes and I can feel my skin is just baking. Oh, I see it. It is a little bird. Digging for grubs or something in the underbrush down there. Alrighty, I'm gonna get back in the car. Like I said, I've been out in the sun and I can feel it on my skin. Just I need to get away from all these bees. So I just saw the herd of male elk. They're actually right out there. I don't know if you guys can see. Anyways, I got it on my big camera. So there are female herd and there are male herds. And so the males, they all get together and hang out and stuff until fall. And then in the fall, that begins the rut. And so then they fight for the right to access the female herds. The best male wins, and then he basically will get a harem of females that he has access to. And they hang out for a couple of months, and then when the females are good and pregnant, then the male will go back to the other males and hang out with them until the next fall. So it's kind of interesting. And all the males, they will lose their antlers in the winter, and in the beginning of spring they'll start to sprout the little horns that will turn into full-grown antlers and begin to velvet throughout the summer. And then as the summer progresses, the velvet will harden and turn into the bone-like antlers that you are familiar with. Oh, look at the bunny. Little bun. So cute. I'm pretty fascinated by elk. I think it's awesome how they kind of bugle and how massive they are and how big their antlers get. I think they're just magnificent creatures. And they're all over. So like when I was in Grand Canyon, that's when I saw the male with his harem. And that was pretty cool. That's when the ranger was kind of making sure that they weren't going to run into the road where everybody was speeding. Alrighty, well, I just about finished this loop, and I don't know if I'm going to do the other one. I don't think I am, because that one's about 5 miles, and I need to continue east. I didn't come all this way to look at elk. I came all this way to go to Yosemite. For reals, that's going to be the crowning jewel of this trip. Been wanting to go to Yosemite for years. Mr. John Muir was a big part of that reason. if you guys haven't watched it, watch the Ken Burns 6-part documentary about the national parks. I believe each part is about 2 hours long, so it's 12 hours of viewing. But as with all of Ken Burns' other documentaries, it's well put together. It's got, you know, really good voice actors like, you know, John Lithgow and Tom Hanks. They'll read letters, actual letters written from people at that time. But he's got a really good segment about John Muir, which made me fall in love with him and kind of sparked my interest in him. Granted, I haven't read too much of his stuff. I just got the books for Christmas. I've got 3 of them from Donna, and I need to dive into them. I brought one of them now, which is an excerpt. But I started reading My Summer in the Sierra, and I'm going to continue to read that. Actually, I kind of want to find a place out east, you know, over in the Sierras, set up my hammock and just kind of spend the afternoon reading in a meadow somewhere. That sounds so romantic. I doubt it'll happen, but oh, wouldn't that be nice? I can dream. But yeah, so anyways, with John Muir, he was so enthralled with nature and just how things worked, and he just wanted to be a part of it so much that during crazy windstorms he would climb the tallest tree that he could, and he would lash himself to the top of the tree and experience what the tree experienced during storms. He'd also go to waterfalls, and he would climb up on top of the waterfall. I'm gonna go this way. He would climb the waterfall and lay where he was looking over the precipice as the cascade was coming down to experience what it was like for the water to cascade over the waterfall. He built a cabin in the Yosemite Valley that didn't have an actual floor, and it was bisected by a creek that went right in the middle of the cabin, so he could experience the creek and hear it at night when he was sleeping. And like I said, it's just, he's a fantastic person. He is one of the godfathers of modern day conservation and preservation, and he's one of the reasons why we are lucky to have the national park systems that we do. He influenced Theodore Roosevelt to kind of get the ball rolling on saving like Yosemite and a lot of the other national parks. So yeah, he's very influential and instrumental in how we enjoy our resources here in the United States. So if you're interested in that, like I said, get the Ken Burns documentary. I believe right now it's on Amazon Prime. It was on Netflix when I watched it, so you know, they kind of flip-flop back and forth with the content that they have, but highly recommend watching it. I know it's 12 hours, but if you love documentaries like I do and you love nature, it's worth the watch. So on that note, I'm back at the visitor center. I'm going to pop inside for a few minutes, so I'll see you guys later. You know, John Muir, they actually have one of his quotes here. Said, "I drifted separate many days, the largest days of my life. Never were mortal eyes more thronged with beauty." And that's what he was saying in 1872 about the San Joaquin Valley, which is where I'm at right now. So, I know, sorry, it's so squeaky. Alright guys, I'm gonna go inside. I'll catch you in a minute.